The V, where traces of my roots are found, winds its way through forest and fertile open land, dressed in purple rhododendron, a quiet twisting road, hooks round to sweep me off my feet, then pins me to the grove. This V-shaped valley that holds me in the palm of her two-cupped hands lifts me up to wonder the liminality of where I stand. Toward the Knockmill Mountain, an onwards-upwards climb had not yet prepared me for the downhill spiral signs. Baylock's reflective water, where my deepest thoughts are crowned, whispers to me, as if to say, stay here too long, you're drowned. 'Twas in the valley's belly where the fragrant mushroom slept, to give me back my wonder, but it's there you'll find I've wept. The V-shaped path did guide me, where father-daughter found light-hearted conversation in the years that went unplanned. The golden valley offered me sweet promises abound, winds brought over seas and oceans, yet in this landscape my deepest emotions still resound. The V, where my heart grows still, winds its way through forest and fertile rolling hills.
The juice of a fresh peach tastes sweetest under the shade of a tree. I dare not step out too far with my bare feet for fear of scorching them. The sun so forceful she ricochets off the sand. Her heat brings stillness. Only the crickets break the silence. A butterfly flutters by the shrubbery. White rock, pale dust, scarcity and lust. Thistles standing tall lean forward as if to beckon me. Come, we are also here to stay. My inner landscape is a semi-desert. Everything is louder in the jungle. A monkey howls, screeching bird song. A branch cracks, dashing through the ferns. Everything is heavier in the jungle. Air so thick I have to force my way through it. Weight in every breath. Streams of sweat running down my back, forming a river that traces my spine. Everything is harsher in the jungle. Thirsty veins, torrential rains, quenching the ground's desire. Flooding, repelling, emanating, rejuvenating. Everything is brighter in the jungle. In the blink of an eye, she returns. Her rays pierce the clouds, into the present, into my presence. She smiles and asks if I will walk in her garden of abundance. My inner landscape is a jungle. She envelops the earth, her indigo blanket washing every shore. She follows the song of the moon, waxing, waning, ebb and flow, high tide, low, her gentle touch lapping up against endless coasts, her fierce tongue lashing out at jagged cliffs. Powers and flaws, infinite fragilities, sturdy walls, she calls out to me. My inner landscape is the sea.
always very rewarding and fascinating for me to hear what images the music evokes in the listener's head and what feelings it triggers. There's no truth I want to bring across or anything like that. I'm very happy to share, but then sharing these things is a pretty abstract thing, and I think it should be received in an abstract way, and also in a way that allows for the listener to really create their own sensations and conclusions. Now the title Empfang, it's very nice that it actually translates into English so well, because like in German it means the exact same two things as in English. So reception in the sense of a sort of gathering or welcoming, but also reception in the sense of receiving a signal. And of course those are two things that I really wanted to portray. The album title Haut in German means skin, and to me the skin symbolizes this border between the inside and the outside of our body. This moving between those two spaces of inside and outside is what this album is about. A nice coincidence is that while Haut means skin in German, in French the word haut means high, like high up or high, which I thought was a nice coincidence. The two things that influence the themes I deal with on the album are a death on one hand of a dog called Virus that I loved very much and had the pleasure of knowing and spending a lot of time with. And obviously much sadness when he passed, raising questions and thoughts about what that meant. On the other hand, the ceremony that you mentioned in your letter, I feel like those two things were what I wanted to share on this album, and the parallels between those two journeys. So the first breathing you hear, it's actually a synthesizer. It's called the ARP 2600, and it's one of my favorite synthesizers. I use it a lot. Of course, breathing being such a vital thing or sign of being alive, the breathing in of certain things is also the way to alter our states of consciousness, whether it's meditation or any of those things. I feel like it's always a kind of origin of the start of a journey. And then another breathing comes in, which is the breathing of Virus, a beautiful boxer dog that I had a close bond with. I really loved particularly his snoring. when it became clear that he was going to die soon, I had the chance of seeing him one more time, and I thought it would be. I just thought it would be nice to capture certain sounds that he makes. Now I worked on that sequence for a while because if you listen carefully, you can hear the snoring, the sleeping sound, but at some point also a getting up and walking around. So you hear the sound of his paws hitting the floor and walking around. So to me, it was really important to show that moment of going from, falling asleep and waking up in another type of world or existence. Now, one thing regarding the ceremony that we both took part in and experienced, one thing I really remember is that when the journey started for me, it was quite overwhelming, and it definitely did feel like a birth into another world. When I think of the birth of a human baby, for instance, I also associate that with some kind of discomfort, with this image of screaming babies, they pop out, and somehow there's this sense of a great shock to the system, and it certainly felt like that to me. Although I then landed very softly. One thing I remember our instructor, or the barman, so to say to us was that that beautiful visions and hallucinations and things like that don't always come, and that when they do come, that it is something like the plant basically giving us a gift, like that it's a great gift to receive. The way I see it now is that I was just given this amazing insight into the world of the plant, that it revealed itself to me and just said, that this is what I am, and this is how you can perceive things when entering my world. One thing I would say about these plant journeys is that, like any trip or voyage, there are certain dynamic elements and changes taking place over the course of time. Moments of beauty, moments of difficulty, a slowing down or speeding up of pace. These are, of course, things I can really relate to as a music producer, or when I work on my music, there are many elements like that I want to incorporate through dynamic changes, such as changes in volume or giving this sense of something being far away or close by, and various other forms of modulation that you can apply to instruments or recordings, and this is something I'm really into when I make music and construct these songs. So I really feel that these sensations from the plant journey, that I could really almost recreating those sensations in a musical way. Another parallel that I see between these journeys and music making, or at least my approach to it, is that I feel like I'm looking for something but don't necessarily know what, and so the act itself, or the journey, is the key. Is what it's all about, and in that journey there are these stages of realization, and of course moments of confusion always, like there's a sense of I need to put this puzzle together. Then there's these really successful moments, but then also moments of complete darkness or feeling lost. And I feel that's something I always want to integrate into the music. This quest for something that is always a bit of a bumpy ride also. There's always a sense of a search going on. I really never go into making a song or an album with this really clear idea of what I want it to sound like or be like, and it's kind of an intuitive process in which I'm often also guided by things just happening. Of course, that's how I feel also about these trips. I think there's always a bit this sense of diving in there and being carried by what's going on. I think there's certainly a sense of needing to let go and kind of don't hold on too much to this idea of being in charge and feel like it's okay to be to be led somewhere, whether you want to or not. Because I think the greatest insights we make, and I would say the same thing about the creative act. It's rarely something that comes from a great knowledge of something that's inside of us and we just have to write it down on paper. I feel like it's really something that comes out of these strange, magical moments of a state of mind that we're in certain moments, and I feel like it's our biggest task to try and evoke those moments and to trigger them, and be guided by them and make them our masters. I think this sense of the profound and unknown is very exciting, and it always raises questions. It leaves me thinking about it, and I really want to incorporate those experiences in my creative process.
Als der Tag der Nacht vergolten und der Drache